Naoya Inoue has been taking the world by storm, becoming undisputed at super bantamweight after defeating unified champion Marlon Tapales in a 10-round shootout. Since then, he defended the titles against Louis Neri in a high-stakes brawl, being knocked down for the first time in his career before knocking Neri out. Straight after, he put a one-sided beating on TJ Doheny, who many thought would be able to give Inoue a tough fight. Now, he was supposed to defend these titles against his mandatory challenger Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman is a solid, undefeated fighter with some decent wins on his record, like his win over TJ Doheny, but it's worlds apart from Inoue's record. At first, I was a bit surprised when this fight got announced because it just doesn't seem like a risky fight, so I didn't think it would sell, but the reality is Inoue can have a few easy fights. He's the biggest sports star in Japan right now, and he sells out in Tokyo. Sam is also Inoue's mandatory challenger, so it's not like Inoue's team is just picking some random journeyman to beat. They were supposed to meet in the ring on December 24th, but Goodman would suffer a cut over his eyelid during sparring, and the fight would be moved to January 24th. Unfortunately, things would get worse because a few weeks before the fight, Goodman would suffer another cut in sparring, and this time he's out for good. He's going to need plastic surgery to restore his eye, and this may take him out of the ring until at least summer. In order to save the show, Joon Kim was brought in at the last minute. Now you may be wondering the same thing I was when I heard this. Who is Joon Kim? In this video, I'll be going over everything you need to know about Inoue's next opponent. Joon Kim is a 32-year-old South Korean boxer with a professional record of 21 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws, with 13 of those wins coming by knockout. He's been a professional since 2012 and stands at 5'4". His career has had some setbacks, starting out with losses and draws within just a few fights before taking a break until 2022. He's a decent professional but has never really fought past a regional level. His biggest win was in May 2024 when he secured a WBO Global Oriental title with a TKO against Rakesh Lochab in Thailand. This isn't a bad career, but it's a gigantic leap from where Inoue is. Inoue is one of the greatest Japanese boxers of all time, holding a 28-0 record with multiple world titles in multiple weight classes. You may be wondering why a fight matched this poorly is going through. Well, the truth is, everything has already been organized. The event is coming up and everything has been paid for. In order to find an opponent, especially one at this weight class which doesn't have as many fighters as other weight classes, there needs to be more time. Although Kim has been a bit inactive and hasn't fought past a regional level, he still managed to become rank 11 with the WBO. This still doesn't change the fact that there is a monumental difference in caliber between both fighters. I'm really interested to see what the odds are for this fight because Kim should be the biggest underdog of all time coming into this. Many people would argue that Inoue is one of the best fighters of today, so for him to be fighting a guy who's nowhere near world level is crazy. I don't think it will go past 2 rounds because Inoue is probably coming into this looking to make a statement. He can't even look like it's a struggle for him because people will just question why he's having a hard time with someone he should beat quite easily. Kim might last longer because he's known for being quite durable, having never been knocked out before, and I really hope he does well for himself because this is such a massive challenge for him to be undertaken. A lot of people might be thinking it's a bad move for Kim because of how big of a step up it is, but he's 32 years old and most boxers who keep boxing up to that age are hoping for opportunities like this to prove themselves. He doesn't even have to win. If he makes a good impression of himself for a few rounds and gives Inoue some trouble every now and then, his stock will go up. The advantage he has coming into this is that Inoue has no idea what Kim is like. He came into this fight having spent the last few months studying and preparing for Sam Goodman, and now the switch up means that he will likely have to change his tactics and he just doesn't have enough time to come up with anything strong. A lot of what he does on the night will be improvisation. Kim, on the other hand, has so much data on Inoue because pretty much every fight Inoue's ever been in has been televised. People have also spent the last few years dissecting Inoue's style and trying to come up with weaknesses. A few fighters in the past have also been able to use these weaknesses to their advantage. It would also be crazy to see Kim win because his nickname is Pacquiweather. I think we can all agree that if he manages to win, he deserves the nickname. It's very likely that Inoue will breeze through Kim, and that leaves us wondering what's next for him. I don't really think he has much left to accomplish at super bantamweight. He could wait for Sam Goodman to recover and defend against him, but I don't think that will happen because Goodman could be out until summer. I think it's very likely that Inoue just moves up to face some of the big names in the featherweight division. I'd like to see him get in there with Nick Ball because Ball is an aggressive fighter who constantly looks to put pressure on his opponents. There's also Brandon Figueroa, who's a tall pressure fighter who likes to fight on the inside and use his strength and reach to whip body shots. You might think this seems like a bad idea because he's tall and should be using his reach, but he's gifted with some good power and likes to take his opponents out rather than cruising to a decision. He managed to win a world title against Louis Neri by knockout, who at the time was undefeated and looked like the boogeyman of the weight class. There's also Ray Vargas, who's currently the WBC champion in recess. Being a champion in recess means they were given permission to to not defend the title and still be a champion. This is because he moved up a weight class to try and become a 3-weight world champion. He's tall and knows how to use his reach. This would be a real challenge for Inoue because Vargas is a seasoned veteran who has all the physical advantages and knows how to use them. He can outbox you, and when he needs to, he can start putting the pressure on you with good body shots. I think Inoue will start running into problems at featherweight because the guys here are not only starting to get too big for him, but they also have the experience to step in and give Inoue a hard time. If Inoue is able to conquer this weight class as well, this would make him a 5-weight world champion and could potentially give him GOAT status. It also seems like he's likely to be the next 3-weight undisputed champion in the 4-belt era because Usyk can't conquer any heavier weight classes after becoming the heavyweight champion, and Crawford seems to be capping out at junior middleweight. I'd like to see Inoue try his hand at the featherweight division, and if he manages to become undisputed at this weight class as well, maybe he could move up to see some junior lightweight champions. There are some real champions at junior lightweight as well, like Emmanuel Navarrete, Anthony Kakashi, Lamont Roach, and Oshak Foster. Junior lightweight would probably be too big for him, so I don't think he'll try his hand at that weight class. He could very well just retire after entering the featherweight division because he's already 31 and made a ton of money. He's got nothing else to prove, and his resume is one of the best resumes in boxing history. Let me know in the comments what you think of Inoue and who would you like to see him get in with next.